Welcome to the Global Oneness Summit, transforming our lives through conscious creativity. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Suzanne Geesman and Patricia Koto-Robles, and we'll be talking about cosmic forces shaping a whole new future. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, so excited to be with you both. So today we're going to touch on cosmic forces, who we are, and recognize the truth of the oneness of our being, and then how we can enjoy the human experience and experience the universe as love. So let me share a little background on each of these incredible guests today. Suzanne Geesman is a teacher of personal transformation, an author. She's got 4 books that I'm aware of. Is that right? You've got 4?
14.
14. Okay. That's just how many were at the, okay. See, sorry about that. And a medium who has been recognized on the Watkins list of the 100 most spiritually influential living people. A former Navy commander with a master's degree in national security affairs, she served as a commanding officer and aide to the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. She now shares The Awakened Way, a path to living a consciously connected and divinely guided life. She has authored 14 books, 6 best-selling Hemi-Sync recordings, and YouTube videos reaching millions of viewers. She produces the Daily Way inspirational messages, the Awakened Way app, and hosts the top-ranking Messages of Hope podcast. And I had the pleasure of attending her workshop yesterday here in Denver, which was incredible. For more information about Suzanne and her work, you can visit her website at suzannegeesman.com. Patricia Koto-Robles is an internationally known teacher and co-founder and president of the nonprofit educational organization Era of Peace, which sponsors her work and the annual World Congress on Illumination. Patricia was a marriage and family counselor for 20 years. She now spends her time sharing the vitally important information she is receiving from the beings of light in the realms of the illuminated truth. This information from on high is distributed for free through Patricia's website, eraofpeace.org, in the form of monthly newsletters, weekly vlogs, video vlogs, webinars, as well as Facebook and Twitter postings. Patricia also shares the sacred knowledge through her many MP3s, CDs, books, ebooks, and DVDs. Welcome, Suzanne and Patricia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So I want to dive right in. How can we work with our higher consciousness to live our best life? Patricia, I'd love to hear from you.
Well, that higher consciousness is always standing in readiness, waiting for our attention to focus on it. And unfortunately, when we began using our creative faculties of thought and feeling in ways that weren't based in love, we fell into denser and denser frequencies of vibration. So instead of that inner guidance and that inner voice being prevalent and available to us, it became what we called the still small voice within that was very hard to hear when there was so much clamor and discord in the outer world. But we're now in the midst of an unprecedented shift of consciousness. And because of this shift of consciousness, we are moving into higher and higher frequencies of vibration that is allowing that aspect of our God self, which I referred to in the beings of light, referred to as the I am presence, the divinity within each of us. This aspect of our divinity is integrating in new ways that we now can hear more clearly as that intuitive inner guidance. So the most important thing in order to reconnect with that inner knowing is to pay attention. because the guidance from that higher self is with us all the time. It's that intuitive inner knowing. We maybe used to call it our conscience, or, seeing the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder, which kind of reflected the difference between our higher divine guidance and the fragmented fear-based consciousness of our human egos. But when we ask and when we bring that aspect of us in to our heart flame and ask for divine guidance, and then take the time to sit and be quiet and to listen, we will get that inner guidance. And the more we practice on that, the more we will get it during all aspects of our life. We won't necessarily have to be sitting in silence to hear it. It will be coming through as this intuitive inner guidance through all of our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings once we consciously invoke it and give it permission to be there in a very tangible way.
Yeah, that's so inspiring. What do you think about that, Suzanne? What Patricia said, or,
That's not a matter of I think about it. I feel it in my heart as truth. It's absolutely correct. And she knows this, and we know this as truth. The challenge is that we in human form are so attracted by the objective world. I'm in a room where there are so many pictures and books on the shelves and interesting things to look at, and we get caught up in that like being in a movie theater. But when we understand that we are not only human, we realize that we can metaphorically step onto the balcony and observe our human self going through life like an actor on a stage. The challenge is when we become like a method actor who forgets they're acting out a role. So taking frequent breaks throughout the day to metaphorically sit on the balcony and have the soul's more expanded view from the bigger picture gives us a sense of peace. But we have to remember to do that. Like Patricia said, we can set the intention of being present and perhaps meditating. But I've found it very practical to have little reminders around my house, have to check in with higher consciousness, to remember that I'm a soul and communicate from that soul's viewpoint. So it could be as simple as putting a little, let's call it a tchotchke, some little doodad that you sit next to the sink where you brush your teeth twice a day. And there's 2 times a day right away that you're saying, oh, have I stepped into the balcony and had the bigger perspective of the soul? Or what if you were to wear a special wristband or move your ring from the right hand to the left every other day so that it feels a little different, and you say, oh, that's right, it's my reminder to stop and pause and be present. So these frequent breaks get us out of the human habit of being solely in this reality awareness.
I love that. Those are great tips. And that concept that you brought up of being the observer, do we have to leave our body? I know some people will leave their body to oversee, like look higher, even astral travel. Can we do that just in our mind, or what do you think about that?
My understanding is that we actually don't leave the body even when we astral travel. Everything is an experience within consciousness, within awareness. The body itself is an experience within consciousness. In your dreams, you don't go somewhere. You may seem to be traveling, but it's all arising within awareness, which exists beyond space-time. So it's not a geographic experience. It's actually an expanded experience or a non-ordinary state of consciousness that gives us the appearance of traveling. So some people may actually feel like you're traveling and visiting other places, and your experience is that, but at a different level, from a different perspective. There is only one mind, one consciousness, and all of these experiences are happening in the only here and now that exists.
That's interesting. I like that perspective. Patricia, did you have anything to add to that in talking about being the observer of your life, going outside and looking at the big picture?
Well, I agree with what Suzanne said completely. We are truly multidimensional beings, and there's no such thing as the soul being unconscious. But so when we lay our body down to rest and to sleep, there's a level of consciousness that gives us the peace to sleep. But we connect then with that higher aspect of our multidimensional selves, and we can project our consciousness anywhere, and what we're learning, which is really, I think, important for us to understand as we connect with the latent abilities that are within us that have been dormant for so long, is that, our science talks about light years and the travel of time and the travel of light and the travel of speed, but in consciousness is instantaneous. So we can, in projected consciousness, be in other realms, in other frequencies, certainly watching everything that's going on in our own life, but also projected into the inner temples in the realms of light, or even to other systems of worlds where we're observing. And I know that sounds kind of woo-woo at this time, but it's not. It's real, and we're becoming more and more aware of that. So this connection doesn't take all of these supernatural things that we thought were so far out and just for certain people that had certain gifts or whatever. We're really connecting with the multidimensionality of who we are, and we're going to be doing awesome things that we've never even dared to dream of.
Ooh, that's exciting. Wow. And why do you feel like that? Do you feel, Patricia, that Earth is awakening and everything is aligning for us? Are we all awakening ourselves to those abilities?
I absolutely think that, and I am aware of that. I've been around for a very long time, so I've been doing this for literally decades, and I realize this isn't something that's just magically happened, that literally everybody, whether they're aware of it yet or not, that are in the physical plane, have come here because we've been preparing for a very long time to assist in this unprecedented shift of consciousness. And what the beings of light have said is, never has a planet that's fallen to this depth of discord and negativity been given the opportunity to move into the light at this accelerated pace. And so we are here not because we're special or unique or more evolved than our sisters and brothers in other systems of worlds. We're here because we've agreed to work our tails off to get this done. And just like what's going on with humanity's team, there are literally legions of people on this planet that have been working for decades and are beginning to awaken with the new. Last year, our World Congress was dedicated to a generational changing of the guard, which is really happening, where the young people, Gen Z and the millennials and the children and the younger people are beginning to wake up in ways that they are going to be literally fulfilling their higher aspects. And so this is a natural part of our process. It's not just happening by accident. It's because for centuries now, there have been powerful people in embodiment who have worked very hard to allow this to occur at this time. And now we're all here to experience it. And I'll just mention this, the beings of light told me this decades ago, which is just, I know it's so hard to believe that when we look at outer world appearances, but they have said beyond a shadow of a doubt, the greatest privilege and honor of any soul in any level of embodiment, in any system of worlds, is physical embodiment on planet Earth during this cosmic shift of the ages that we're experiencing. So we are really blessed beyond our comprehension to be able to work in this way, just like all the wonderful legions of light that'll be participating in the Global Oneness Summit. This is a really powerful time. And just very quickly, I'd like to mention, so many shifts of energy and vibration have gone on. And regardless of what our outer world beliefs are about COVID or whatever, what did happen multidimensionally was what the beings of light referred to as a planetary pause that just allowed the stillness in the outer world, because everybody had to stop doing what they were doing. It allowed the I Am presence to integrate and communicate in ways that we have not experienced. And so there have been really powerful shifts of energy, vibration, and consciousness, so we can withstand more light. So powerful influxes of this light occurs with certain planetary alignments, equinoxes, solstices, eclipses, and that kind of thing. And I just want to mention that this Earth Summit is being held in the embrace of a very powerful eclipse series. And there's a powerful solar eclipse that occurs on October 14th, or occurred on October 14th. And the lunar eclipse will be on the 28th. So throughout the whole summit, we're going to be experiencing all this powerful influx of light.
Thank you so much for sharing. And it really resonated with me what you were saying about what the beings of light said, that absolutely the greatest gift is to be embodied on the earth right now. So I just, everybody take a deep breath in for a moment. Take that in, feel that gratitude, and release. And Suzanne, I know your whole branding, The Awakened Way, what was your inspiration? Did you want to help people to become awake to their abilities?
That is an outcropping of The Awakened Way. The inspiration for The Awakened Way was a visit from a young man whose nickname was Wolf, who came to me after I met his parents, surprised by my story because their son was killed the same way my stepdaughter was, struck by lightning.
That is incredible.
Yes.
What a synchronicity.
And I want to share with you, I rarely state this, but I see lightning as this beautiful symbol of who we are. If you look at a lightning bolt, it starts with one point and then it comes down in fractals that it just divides. So this one light divides into higher beings, and those beings birth other beings. So we humans is a metaphor, but there's a lot to it, are just this condensed representation of that same light, and we're tapping into helpful beings at higher levels who also arise from that same light. But Wolf came to me when I agreed to do a mediumship reading for his parents. He dropped in on me the day before the session with all kinds of evidence that it was really him. He's the most powerful soul that I had brought through at that point, and he left proof that we are souls. I tell it in my book, Wolf's Message, the evidence that he left before he passed, that he knew he would be killed by lightning. He knew exactly the spot where it would happen and when it would happen and what his parents would do in the aftermath. He drew pictures of it, left words about it, just points exactly to what Patricia and I know, that we are not only these limited human beings. So the things that he shared with me in this unexpected drop-in before his reading and during the reading led to a profound message about who we really are. And that became my teaching, The Awakened Way, which really boils down to three simple principles. Number one, you are not only human. So if we're not only human, I'm not saying we're ETs. ETs are expressions of this same one light, but in the human lineage, we are also souls, this expanded consciousness. So what does that mean for all of us? What do we do if we're not only human? We know that we are not alone. We can tap into our higher selves, the soul level, and live from that place. Wolf's main message is we as a species have been out of balance, too much in the head and not enough in the heart. And he also showed that just as Patricia knows, our entire solar system is coming into alignment with the center of the galaxy. And I don't know a lot about astronomy. I know Patricia can speak to the planetary alignments much more, but the energy really is shifting at multiple levels. The second principle of the awakened way that came about because of my encounters with Wolf is that we are part of one big web connecting all that is, not just here in physical form, but across realities, across worlds and universes. Everything is connected. And when you start noticing the connections, your own consciousness expands. You see the connections with others, you care more about them, we come more from the heart. And the third principle of living the awakened way is that the healing and creative force, with a capital F, of the universe is love. I wanted to comment while Patricia was giving her hope-filled message for all of us, that so many YouTube videos this day that bring in channelers, that bring in people that are spiritual, capture people's attention with these doom and gloom titles and these forecasts that watch out, look out for what's coming. And I love that Patricia is speaking positively, because that's what my guides are saying as well. And we know that fear speaks to the human aspect of us, but the soul knows that we have good reason to remain hopeful. We're here to do a task, and when we come from the heart, we're right on mission. Right, Patricia?
Absolutely. The just, this is a side note, but you mentioned this about Wolf saying he had left the body. That was such a comforting thing for me, and I know that a lot of people experience that in my counseling when the beings of light revealed that is very normal, that at the moment of trauma or impact, whether it's a murder, whether it's a car accident, whatever, that the soul actually leaves the body before the horrific trauma to the body. And so that's why after car accidents, they're interviewing the patient and they don't remember the actual accident, or they don't remember exactly when the robber broke into their house, what happened after that. Because when they're in that traumatic situation, the soul leaves the body, so they don't experience all of that pain. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Very interesting about the soul and death. And I agree with you, Suzanne, about Patricia being positive. It really warmed my heart. And both of you have such a positive message. I think it just gives everyone hope that no matter what's going on in the world, we have each other, and we have our heart and the divine. So
could I add something to that, Carissa?
Yeah.
That the tumult that we're experiencing, we can liken that to labor pains, birth,
Yes.
the new human. And the new human is one who is aware of who we are and has these, the ancients call them siddhis, S-I-D-D-H-I-S, the superpowers, which are available to all of us, of clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience. Knowing beyond the human senses is a natural ability that's been suppressed because of our focus on the external physical world. But this is part of what we're all stepping into, and labor pains come with a lot of discomfort, and we're experiencing that, but everything goes in cycles. So where we are now will be succeeded by wonderful things.
Yes, absolutely. And those labor pains, like you're saying, they're for our good, because they're helping us go even deeper. And like having that contrast, we can rise even higher, because it's almost like we have to. I have this like urgency, like, yes, we need to.
I wouldn't say we have to. It is the natural impulse of creation. Okay. To grow and evolve. So that comes with the feeling of, I have to do this, but that's how that comes across to us. It's
I see.
Impulse.
Yeah, good point. That's good reframing. Well, I want to go into cosmic forces. First of all, what are cosmic forces, Suzanne?
I want Patricia. I would love Patricia.
Oh, you want to hear what Patricia has to say? Okay.
Well, as Suzanne said, everything is interconnected and interrelated. And to the point, that's one of the things that if we can really get that, then it helps us have a greater level of responsibility of how we're using our precious gift of life, that electronic light that beats our heart, activates our brain, that we receive with our prana, that's our life force. And when we say everything is interconnected, it literally means that every particle and wave of life throughout the whole of creation is experiencing everything. With every breath we take, whatever we are thinking or feeling or saying or expressing is either adding to the light of the world or it's adding to the chaos. And we have the ability to control what we're sending out by monitoring our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings. And the beings of light, the cosmic forces, are just from the very all-encompassing presence of our omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent Father, Mother, God, all that is. Suzanne said it's all based in love. The foundation of the all-encompassing divine matrix of our Father, Mother, God is love, the full momentum of our Father, Mother, God's divine love. And everything exists within that divine matrix. And so the cosmic beings, say the solar logos that control the suns beyond suns beyond suns, the beings of light associated with that, the mighty Elohim, who are the builders of form, the directors of the earth, air, water, and fire elements, and all the beings associated with the elemental kingdom, the entire legions of cosmic beings, from the greatest, most powerful beings of archangels and solar archangels and on, are all evolving aspects of our Father, Mother, God. And so the cosmic forces involve the collective consciousness of all of that divinity. For instance, ascended masters are sons and daughters of God that have normally evolved through various earthly types of experiences that have evolved to a higher level. Our planet is the beings of light that are holding the creative space for our planet, are Helios and Vesta, and they are in the system of the central sun of Alpha and Omega. And Alpha and Omega is held in a larger aspect of central suns named Eloi and Eloah. And the one beyond that Eloi and Eloi belong to, are El and Allah. So all of these systems of worlds, all of these beings of light are those forces. And each and every one of them are available to us through our invocation and by asking. And what I want to really stress is, I know that one time I had someone who was talking to me about Jesus, and they said they have so much, but they know how busy he is, so they don't want to impose on him by asking to do something. The reality is, these beings of light, all of us, even our higher I am presence, and as Suzanne reflects, that's the aspect of us that is our soul, is like a magnificent sun. And simultaneously, when we invoke light, say from Jesus or Mother Mary or Buddha or Archangel Michael or any of the beings of light, they can project infinite rays of light into the heart flame of every person in the universe, in the whole of creation, simultaneously, and assist us simultaneously. So when I do invocations, and I encourage people to do this, we invoke the entire company of heaven and the legions of light throughout infinity, so that all of them that can assist in any way project their light and add to that light activity. So we are powerful beyond our knowing, because we are connected with all of those beings of light. And when we say, for instance, I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of every man, woman, and child, Instantaneously, our I Am presence sends a ray of light into the heart flame of the I Am presence of every person on earth, alerting them that someone is invoking light on their behalf, and for them to stay at attention to receive that light. So we are powerful beyond we're known. And the I Am presence will receive the light we are invoking and use it only in perfect alignment with that person's divine plan and their highest good. So it's impossible to interfere with anybody's divine plan or cause them any problems by invoking light on their behalf, because the I Am presence is the director and guidance of how that light is used.